Hey, and welcome to Girl Be Free, a podcast designed to help women get unstuck and cultivate the life you want on your terms. I'm Siobhan, your host, and I'm passionate about empowering women to live their best life. Each week, you'll hear pep talks that will inspire and push you to take action so you too can start to be free and live the life you want. You can learn more about me at BeFreeProject.com. Now let's jump into the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, where I'm going to inspire and motivate you to show up for yourself. This week, I am loving my 2019 vision board. Yes, I'm one of those people who have already started visualizing and thinking about what I want for the new year. I was inspired to recreate my vision board after attending the self-care retreat about a month ago. And one of the speakers was there and she talked all about vision boards. And one of the things that I realized that I didn't even know before I heard her say this, but typically when I make my vision boards, I'm a word person, so I get inspired off of words. And so for the last few years, my vision board has consisted of nothing but words. And she was saying how you have to make sure that you have images to visualize what you want so that you can see it, you can feel it, you can, experience it in your mind. And when you have nothing but words, like what are you telling the universe that you want? And that was like a light bulb moment for me. And here I thought I had it all together, knew everything about vision boards, and yet I can always learn something new. So this past weekend, I recreated my board with the majority, like 90% of it is images. And I'm very, very excited about it. Prior to creating the board, I made a list of everything that I wanted to experience in my life. And I was very, very specific, more so than I've ever been in the past. And so after creating that list, then I went on to find images that aligned with what I said I wanted. And if I couldn't find the images in magazines, I would print it out offline, like just Google the image and print it out. So that way I was able to have exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to post a picture of my vision board on my social media platforms. I'm also going to share it in the Be Free Inner Circle, and we're going to have a discussion more so about it because I really want to inspire more people to make sure that you're creating a vision for your life. And I don't want you to wait until January. Like I really want to get people excited about doing it now so that you're already ready to hit the ground running and your vision will already be created for you. So that is what I am loving this week. And it's very exciting because I'm actually looking at it right now as I record this episode. And I'm like, yes, I want all of this. So that's what I'm loving this week. Before I get to today's topic, I want to let you know I am very excited because I am going to be hosting the Show Up For You Challenge live. So many of you have already probably taken the challenge, and it was a email sequence that you would receive with videos from me every day. However, starting October 22nd through the 26th, I'm going to run the challenge live. And what that means is for 4 consecutive days, you're going to get inspiring videos from me. And then we're going to hold each other accountable as a community inside the Be Free Inner Circle. So what the Show Up For You challenge is you choose something that you've been putting off forever that you want to commit to for 4 consecutive days. And the challenge I intentionally made it short because I want to build the momentum. Now, we hold each other accountable and all this jazz inside the Be Free Inner Circle, but this challenge, I want to make it open for everyone to be a part of. So when you register for the challenge, you'll have a 14 free trial into the Be Free Inner Circle. This way, you can get an idea of how we flow. You can share what you're working on throughout the challenge, and you'll be able to get that community support, the accountability that you need to stick to that thing that you said that you wanted to do. So everyone, whatever you choose is going to look different, right? So whether you've been putting off journaling, maybe you've been putting off working out, writing some pages to that book you've been wanting to write, maybe meditation, whatever the thing is that you want to do to show up for yourself, that's what you're going to choose for that week. And then at the end of the challenge, I'm going to do a free workshop inside the Be Free Inner Circle. So that way we can tie it all together and we can really be ready to go big in 2019 and really ready to show up for ourselves. So the link to join this free challenge is in the show notes. So make sure that you sign up for it, share it, share it, share it with your friends and your community. There will be a link in the email that you're going to receive to do that. Again, I'm really excited because now you're going to get a 14-day free trial to join the Be Free Inner Circle. So that way you have that accountability throughout the challenge. And then there's going to be a free workshop on October 29th to tie it all together. So sign up. The link is in my bio. Share it with your friends. I can't wait to see you in there. And you'll get access to the Be Free Inner Circle closer to when the challenge starts. But go ahead and register now so that way you don't miss out. And make sure you add me to your contacts when you register so that way the email don't get lost in like spam or your junk folder or promotion if you use Gmail. All right. Now on to today's topic, which is growth takes time. Don't rush the process. So this week's message is for you and it's also for me. All right. I know I see a lot of people, and including myself at times, where you want things to happen quickly. But let me tell you that it takes time to grow, right? When you think about a tree, when you think about flowers, plants, children, when you think about lives, like living things, like it takes time for growth. And so I want to inspire and remind you that you have to embrace the journey that you are on and not to rush it. Because when you try to rush it and want everything to happen so quickly, 9 times out of 10, there's probably still some learning that needs to happen. And that I'm a firm believer that when things are supposed to happen, they will, right? And so instead of comparing your life to others or hoping things will just move so quickly, I want you to embrace the process and embrace the journey. Because, like I said, change takes time. And when you're thinking about all the things that you want to do and you're trying to rush and get them done, you end up frustrated. You end up feeling like, woe is me. And you got to take time. Like this life is a lot, right? And being free and living the life that you want, growing and evolving, like all of it takes time because your mindset has to change, right? The way that you move through life has to change. How you function, the people in your life, like there's a lot of changes that has to take place in order for you to grow and become the person that you desire to be. So this week, I'm really want you to think about being okay with the growing process and that there's going to be a lot of purging, a lot of stripping, a lot of peeling back the layers to get to the woman that you are trying to become and that you deserve to become. So I'm going to share a story because y'all know I like to do that. And I share this in my Be Free Inner Circle and also a Facebook group that I'm a part of. Last week, I went back to therapy. And I went back to therapy after being gone a year because I was triggered by something that my husband said. Now, y'all know I talk about therapy all the time. I'm a huge advocate for it. And the reason I haven't been in a year is because the initial reason that I went was due to the abandonment issues from my mother. And I have since healed, and I've been good and I've been in a really great place mentally, emotionally. I've even seen her recently and I've been okay with that. So I am good. However, when I was having a conversation with my husband, some other stuff came up and I'm like, and so literally we had the conversation on a Sunday. Thursday, I was back in therapy because for me, I am trying to get to my most authentic self. And I am trying to continue, not trying, I am going to continue to grow and work on myself. And I am a person who, I would say, I'm very self aware. So I understand that I don't have time to waste, and that in order for me to become my best self, I have to keep doing the work. And so when I say I was triggered, my husband said something about, well, we don't need to go into details, but he says something, and tears instantly started streaming down my face. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that I needed to work on that. And so I made an appointment with my therapist, and we're sitting. So I get there last week, and I'm sitting on the couch, and we're talking it through. And she brought some things to my awareness that I would have never thought about had I not went. And one thing that I am very grateful for is that I was able to see my I was able to experience my growth while I was sitting on the couch. So normally when I'm talking about especially emotional baggage and stuff that has happened in my childhood, sometimes there's a lot of tears. And as I was sharing with her the reason that I was there and what I was experiencing and how I wanted to get better, um, I felt the growth. Like I wasn't doing a lot of crying. I was just kind of talking my way through it. I was able to manage my emotions through tapping my hand and my leg, just something that I naturally started doing. And I felt good, y'all. And so when she was getting ready to respond to me, she was aware and she was like, I noticed there's a difference in your eyes as you're talking, and I can see the growth. And I commend you for continuously doing the work, and not just for yourself, but because of the work that you do in empowering and inspiring and teaching other women. She was like, she doesn't see many people that come through her office that they're doing the work, right? On themselves. And so I am very grateful, number one, that I was able to acknowledge it, that she saw it as well, and that I understand that this journey never stops. And it's a process. And at the end of the day, like I told her, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm like, it is draining. But I'm so glad that I am aware of the areas of my life that I need to grow in and that I'm willing to keep doing the work and not to ignore it. And I was having a conversation with a friend and I was like, wow, think about all the people who are not self aware or who are not conscious and they're walking around feeling stuck and stagnant in their life and they're not doing the inner work. And something has happened traumatic in their life at some point and they're not addressing it. And they're functioning in a dysfunctional life, right? And so I'm sharing this because I believe in transparency. I believe in being vulnerable, and I know that as I continue to share, I'm helping other women. I was speaking at a conference about 2 weeks ago, and therapy came up, and at the end of the session, where people were either thanking me in the room for talking about it, they messaged me afterwards saying that they now were going to go see a therapist. And so I'm an advocate for it because I believe you need to speak with someone that can help you work through the mess so that you're not walking around life um, dysfunctional, right? And so for me, the goal, like I said, is to continue to grow, to continue to be better, and not just for myself, but for my marriage, for my family. I want to be a better coach, a better entrepreneur, a better friend, a better granddaughter. Relationships that I have with other people, like I want to constantly get better so that I can share with others what I'm working on, and hopefully some kind of way it will inspire the next person as well. And what I understand about therapy and doing this inner work, that at the end of the day, it's not really about you. It's about the people that are connected to you, that their life will evolve, they will be better as you continue to get better. It's almost like when you decide to show up for yourself, you're going to challenge other people in your circle to show up too. And the people that are not showing up in a way that's going to be beneficial for your growth, you're going to start weeding those people out. And you're going to start attracting people in your life that are on this growing journey with you, And so I know that's a little bit hard to comprehend, especially when there's certain people in your life that you can imagine not being there. But I don't know if I read this last week or something. Or no, you know what? I think I posted it on Instagram, and I'm going to pull it up so I can share it here too. Is that it said the quote that I shared on Instagram is it said, "When you decide to grow, some people just have to go." When you decide to grow, some people just have to go, and everybody can't go along for you. Excuse me, everybody can't go along with you on the journey because it's yours and it's yours alone. So, um, I just want to remind you that the self work, you have to keep doing it, right? You have to keep peeling back the layers because in order for you to live your biggest, wildest dream, and in order for you to become the woman that you deserve to become, like I was talking about, I believe last week, you got to do the work. And it's not easy. It's uncomfortable peeling back those layers and dealing with some of the stuff that you've probably been carrying for a long time. But at the end of the day, what else would you rather be doing? Do you want to continue to be stuck? Do you want to lack clarity for your life? Do you want to continue to watch everyone else live their best life while you're stuck in your own, not happy, unfulfilled? Like, how does that feel? And so, my challenge to you, not just for therapy, to go to see a therapist, because, if you feel like you need it, great. Don't ever be afraid to go back. Like I said, it's been a year since I've been, which I didn't even realize it had been that long. And go back every time you feel that you need it. And if you can't find if you're new to this and you're like, oh, where do I start? I always recommend people go to Psychology Today, go to their website to use their directory, call your insurance company and ask for a referral, or Therapy for Black Girls. She has a directory right on her website for you to find someone in your area. So those are just a few things that come to mind first. But whether it's therapy, whether it's meditation, journaling, hiring a coach, a mentor, whatever it is that you need, get it. Start your growing process and be okay with the time that it's going to take to work through the stuff. All right. So, a few things I want to share with you just to be mindful of is don't ignore the triggers or your intuition. So, when my husband said that, when he made the comment that he made, again, like I told you earlier, tears instantly fell down my face. That was my trigger. Now, the old me would have ignored that and kept it pushing. But the new me is like, no, that hits you in a way that it made tears fall. You haven't addressed this, and it's time for you to work on it. And I didn't waste any time. Like that Monday, I was calling the therapist's office, like, when can I get in? Surprisingly, I was able to get in really quickly because normally she's booked, right? And so I didn't ignore what I felt in that moment. And I didn't ignore it because I'm very, like I was saying earlier, self aware that I have been doing this work for well over 6 years now and just getting to know myself on a deeper level that I know me. So pay attention to the triggers, don't ignore them. Trust your intuition, okay? Next is to get silent and listen to your inner voice. There's so much noise going on at any given time, whether social media, whether at home, whether at work, noise, noise, noise. I want you to spend some time getting quiet and listening to yourself so you know what you need to do. It may not be therapy. Maybe you need to take time and write out what you want for your life and create a vision board, right? Maybe you need to pick up a new self-help book or a fiction book. I don't know. Like maybe you need to work on your finances. Whatever that thing is for you, listen to that inner voice and it's going to guide you. But you got to get silent and you got to listen and you can't ignore it. Next, surround yourself with people who are also growing and evolving. You cannot grow around people that aren't growing, right? So you need people that match your energy, that are on the same path as you. I talk about my tribe all the time. They are solid, and I'm grateful for every single person that's in my life because they fuel me in a way that helps me keep going. So you want to make sure that you're surrounded by people who get you and who can celebrate in your growth and encourage you along the journey, whether that's in person, whether that's online. The Be Free Inner Circle is amazing for that because we're all there striving to become our best selves, and we're able to share with one another our journeys, and get the resources that we need from one another. Next, journal your way through it. So I've shared this before that writing is my therapy. And it was my therapy a long time before I started going to therapy. And so I still journal to this day. I don't journal every single day, but I journal a few times per week just to get my thoughts down on paper and to work through my stuff. And now I have to journal even more frequently because my therapist said she wanted me to work and write through some stuff. So start journaling, whether you pick up the Free Your Mind journal, which I think is perfect because the prompts guide you and you don't have to figure out what to write about. And I'll put the link to that in the show notes. Anytime I mention anything that I want you to go to or check out, I'll make sure that I link it in the show notes for you. So websites, my products, whatever, I'm going to share that in the show notes. So make sure you're checking that out. But whether you purchase the Free Your Mind journal that I created, or you grab a notebook, a composition notebook and just start writing, whatever you need to do, just get your thoughts out of your head and down on paper. Next, I want you to pause and identify the baggage that you've been carrying for a long time. And we all got baggage. Nobody is exempt from it, right? But you don't want to be walking around carrying these same old bags year after year after year, and all they're doing is getting heavier and heavier because you're piling on more bags on top of more bags on top of more bags. Just like the song Bag Lady by Erykah Badu, right? So I want you to pay attention to what have you been carrying for a long time that you're tired of, that you're ready to let go of, right? And then lastly, accept that your journey is your journey and it's not for everyone to understand. So there's going to be people in your life that you can't share everything with, right? Even talking to a therapist, that may be so taboo to people that you're surrounded by that you may not want to share that with other people. But if you have people in your life, great, but you don't have to share it. It can be your own little secret or what have you. But this is your journey. It's not for anyone else to understand. It's not for them to get because it's yours. And so I don't want you to look for validation or approval in other people or for someone to say, yeah, you should do it. Do it for yourself. Figure out what you need and do that. All right. And so your action step for this week is more so I'm going to share an affirmation with you. And this affirmation comes from the Girl Be Free deck of affirmation cards that you can pick up on my website. The link will be in the show notes for you. But the affirmation says, there's a winner in me. There's a winner in me. So I want you to meditate on that this week. I want you to write it down. If you want more affirmations, definitely purchase my deck of affirmation cards. And you can get that at girlbefree.com. But again, I'll drop the link in the show notes. But I want you to just meditate and speak that over and over again. There is a winner in me. And whether you feel like it right now or not, I still want you to recite it and start feeding your mind those positive statements. All right. Now it is time to highlight dope women doing dope things. Now, this person I'm about to celebrate or acknowledge is not a woman. It is my 12-year-old daughter, Jordan. And I'm shouting her out this week because she is an amazing artist. Please, please, please go and follow her page, her Instagram page, Sud Studios. I'm going to drop the link in the show notes. But she's a dope woman doing dope things, or dope girl doing dope things, because she was a vendor at this event called Naturally Undefined for the first time about a couple of months ago, back in August. And for the first time, she sold her artwork as a digital artist. And she did such a good job. She looked the par, her table was nice. She sold so much art, and I was so, 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 so proud. And as a result, like after having that table and being a vendor, we then created an Etsy shop because so many people wanted to purchase her artwork. So now we're selling her art, or she's selling her art because I ain't got nothing to do with it but helping her manage everything. She's selling her artwork on Etsy, and it's been going really well for her. People have purchased from different states, so we've been shipping orders out, and then she's been selling artwork, here in Ohio. And so I'm just so proud because at 12 years old, y'all, do you know I wish I would have been as fearless and as confident and known what I want to do at that age? And so I keep telling her the sky is the limit at this point. Like, you are in an ideal situation where you know that you're going to be an artist and you're already practicing now and selling your work now at 12. Just imagine where you're going to be like years from now. And she already has, selling her artwork on Etsy and in person. Most recently, she was interviewed on this blog that I'll drop the link for in the show notes. And she was sharing how her dad inspired her to be an artist, like watching him. And it woke something up in her. And she's really good, y'all. So I'm going to drop the link to the blog that she was interviewed on, as well as a link to her Etsy shop. And I'm going to drop a link to her Instagram page so you can see her work. Please, please, please support her. It means the world to her as a 12-year-old that someone is buying her art. It boosts her confidence. It inspires her to keep drawing. And it's just good overall. So whether you purchase for yourself, it'll make a great Christmas present, birthday present. She even does custom orders as well, like custom avatars. And she offers that on her Instagram page. So she is a dope girl doing dope things that I am shouting out this week. I am a proud mama, and I'm excited to see what's to come in the future for her. Next up, let's see, I want to share, like I told you, a new feature on the site is sharing some of the reviews that you guys are leaving on Apple Podcasts. So, number one, thank you for everyone who is leaving a review. And each week, I'm going to shout out a new listener review. So, if you haven't yet, make sure you go over to Apple Podcasts under Girl Be Free and leave a review. And you may just get a shout out on the podcast. This week's review is coming from Vonda, and she says, "The Girl Be Free podcast is the perfect stimulus. Siobhan is the down to earth, tell it to you like it is accountability partner every girl needs. Every message contained in this podcast will dare you to be better, offering encouragement, inspiration, and practical steps to getting unstuck and grow. Listening to this podcast during my morning commute always shifts my thoughts, attitude, and energy." Vonda, thank you so much for sharing that. And I really appreciate that. This is the one of the many things that I really love is sharing what's working for me each week on the podcast, and then getting all the positive reviews on how it's helping you ladies. So thank you so much. Please keep the reviews coming. Make sure you go to Apple Podcasts and rate me 5 stars and leave a review. And you may just, like I said, get a shout out on upcoming episodes. And also, if you're enjoying the podcast, please share it on your social media platforms, text it to your friends, all that jazz. I appreciate you continuing to help me get the word out. Next, if you have any questions for the podcast or anything you want to share, you can send me an email at hello@girlbefree.com, or you can leave a comment on our IG page, which is called Girl Be Free Podcast. But again, feel free to shoot me an email at hello@girlbefree.com. And if you have a question or a topic you want to see covered on the show, that's the perfect place to send it. Lastly, a few events coming up for me. I will be speaking at the Obesity Summit in Akron on October 13th. Pretty excited about that. So if you're in the area, definitely, or if you're attending, please come out and say hi to me. Again, I will be speaking on what it means to get unstuck and live your best life. And then, dun, 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 that's my little drum roll. The last Be Free meetup of 2018 will be on Friday, October 26th. There are less than 10 tickets available, so if you haven't purchased yours, please do so. I'm extremely excited because we will be celebrating a few birthdays there. And one young lady, I got to shout her out, Valerie, is flying in from North Carolina to attend my event to celebrate her birthday. and she'll be staying for the whole weekend. So I'm really excited. I mean, I'm in awe. Number one, that she is flying here to attend my event, that she wants to celebrate her birthday at my event. And yeah, I can't wait to see her. So I'm really excited about that. And I told her, I'm like, we're totally singing happy birthday. So be prepared. It's going to be awesome. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, you definitely want to, especially if you've been saying all year, I got to get to Siobhan's event. Well, now is the time, because this is the last one for this year, and I'm changing a lot of things starting in 2019 because I have to prepare for my big vision that is before me. So, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your ongoing support. And until next time, girl, be free. Thank you so much for listening. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling really fancy, go ahead and leave a review. Until next time, be free and live.